my gosh.
Hmm.
That's right. That's right. Sunglasses in the silky.
Morning, Thompson.
Buenos dias, amigo.
Hola.
Jack, I gotta admit, you look very safe with that coffee in hand. You look very safe with that latte.
There ain't nothing safe about Minnesota, dude.
Love to see it. All right, we got a few people's on the Zooms here. I think we got you'll have to let us know how that is. I haven't read that one yet. Jack got a new book, guys. The book on mental toughness. The book. Yeah, Andy Frisella's new book. So you'll have to let us know what you think. He did write the foreword. He did write the foreword for sure. Yeah, I do know that for a fact. All right. It very well may be. It very well may be. But Jack will let us know because he's read it and I have not. So, well, he's reading it. Hasn't read it. He's reading it. All right. We all good to go? Everybody in? Ladies and gentlemen, happy Thursday. Glad you guys all made it back. Glad to see everybody. Bright smiling faces in the room. Let's start this day off the right way. Anybody got any wins? Anything good going on? If you're on the Zooms, drop it in the chat for us. We'd love for you to share it. But in the room, any wins? Anything good going on in the world of real estate? Yeah, so like, no, I'm ready to get started. Let's get this day started. That's fine. Let's get this day started then. Ladies and gentlemen, since it is Thursday, this is our last day, obviously meeting as a group. So what I would love to do right now is make sure you have a chance to check in on your accountability. And before we do that, I just want to talk to you for just a second. Okay, I want to just give you a little nugget. And if you want to write this down, I encourage you to write this down. This is something I want you to take with you for the rest of your life. And not just in the world of real estate, but in everything that you do. I want you to understand this little nugget, and there's just some air of truth in this, in the fact that success loves speed. And I want to say that for you again, success loves speed. It loves for you to have some urgency. It loves for you to have a desire to get there quicker. It loves for a little bit of pace that creates momentum that actually helps you accomplish the goal before you get tired, before you get disinterested, before you get distracted, before other things can get in the way of you accomplishing your goals. And I want you to understand in this context, if success loves speed, what does it take for you to be successful every single day? What are those things? Do you have to work out? Do you have to make contacts? Do you have to post on social media? What are those things? And if success loves speed, how quickly in your day could you get the things done that you need to get done? Because ladies and gentlemen, if it doesn't bother you, you won't actually get it done. But success loves speed. The longer it takes you, the less likely you are to actually get it done. If your goal is to go to the gym 3 times this week and it's Thursday and you haven't been once, your goal just got a whole lot harder. You could be done already. Success loves speed. So as you're going to check in with your accountability partner, I want you to understand success loves speed. So if you have not completed all of your goals for this week, what specifically do you need to do the rest of this week in order to get these things done? Do you need to do them earlier? Do you need to do them today, not tomorrow? Do you need to take the next 48 hours and be highly intentional, ignoring everything else and just committing to knocking out the things that you said you would do this week? All right. So what I want you to do, get back with your accountability partner, check in, follow up with them. Did they do what they need to do? And what specifically do they need to do the rest of this week? All right. If your accountability partner is not in the room, get them on the phone, but check in with your accountability partner. Now is the time for that. All right. We got about 5 minutes. Catch up with your accountability partner. Let's do that. Did you do what you said you were gonna do? Did you do it? Dígame. Oh, did you borrow it from JJ? Did you read it? How'd it go?
I really didn't like the book. I like compared to the Jason Derulo book, it's really slow.
Very hard to read. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was very hard.
It's like academic.
Yeah.
Fake writing.
So,
Oh, you read the Jason Derulo book?
no, I audio.
You
The
audio.
audio was so nice.
Yeah, you liked it. See, told you it was a good one.
That one took
Yeah, you had to
a
keep reading.
month
Yeah,
or more.
you like couldn't stop listening because it was that good, right? I know.
I need another book. Gotta find that.
I got a whole book list for you. There's a whole bunch of good ones.
The nice audio.
You should check some of the biographies. There's two in particular that I highly recommend. Will and
Will
Green
Smith.
Lights. Will Smith and Green Lights. Matthew McConaughey. Both unbelievably good. You'll love them.
Okay.
So, all right. So tell me, how'd the week go?
It's been going good.
Yes.
Today and Monday, I really hated getting up. So
Mm.
exhausting, but it's nice because the walk counts.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You get up, get moving. It's all right.
But if I had to work out, I don't know if I could do so. Today in particular, I was so exhausted.
Why? Are you staying up late or are you
No, I'm going to bed now.
tired?
I just don't think I'm getting to sleep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Got it. Are
So
you
I'm
up?
afraid I'm gonna wake up with my alarm. And then my dog is on me.
Your success anxiety is keeping you from sleeping. This is good. Okay, good. Love that. It's fine.
But calls have been good. I've been yelled at a lot.
Yes.
Oh, I had a good conversation with one of my clients that were wanting to move here and they got pre-approved and everything. But then it was a family that was in the military, another one.
Okay, yeah.
They wanted to come here, but then it changed where like the husband was gonna have to be away from them. So I just kind of laid it all out. And I was like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
And they decided like, no, and it was a really good conversation. They just appreciate
But
housing.
they were like, it might not be time for you after you laid it all out.
Yeah.
Like, it might not be time for you guys to do this yet.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
Then JJ sent me, one of his friends
Saw
that,
that investor client.
yeah, got over that anxiety, so we're good. Yeah,
Proud of you. Yes.
that was my,
Love it. Okay. What neighborhood are you calling out of curiosity?
it was for Jasmine's listing and then one of, Aloha's last listing that she sold within like 2 days.
West Side. Okay. Love it. So lots of people are like, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk about this.
Actually, there is one guy who has a fishing charter in the Mississippi River. He said if I go fishing with him, then we can talk, because he hates his neighbor.
That's super random. That's so funny.
He sent me his YouTube videos. He's like, can you give me feedback? I was like, JJ. Yeah. It's a text. I might go. fishing.
You might be on a fishing boat this year. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right, dig it. What, you know, open houses this week?
No, I have to move all my stuff back to Grand Island and all my big stuff.
Big stuff moving this week. Okay. Super Bowl plans in Grand Island?
I don't care less.
You're not there for the buffalo chicken dip? You're not into that? Well, you haven't had,
No green bean casserole that your family's making, so can't have it.
unbelievable. By the way, Jack Harvey, if you're out there, I know Allie's making buffalo chicken dip, so just go ahead and bring some of that in. I know you can hear me. Don't act like you can't hear me. Oh, he's gonna act like he's busy. Okay, that's fine. Good. All right. So you're on your way. What were the commitments that you wrote down this week? I'm curious.
It was
Did
the
you make
same
it?
ones. It was get up
Get up.
5:50, text you by 6.
Yep. 13
Work out,
contacts.
do some type of workout, 13 contact.
Some sort of vehicle.
And then I need to get a new book.
You need a book.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. When are you gonna pick a new book by?
After Sunday, because this moving thing, I think that's why I've been so exhausted, because our apartment is a mess. Like, it's just not organized.
Now, audiobooks, are you like audiobook in the car like Joe, or you like to do it on your runs or walks or something, or when do you listen to it?
Last time I listened to a book, we were just at work.
Just at work, just chilling at the desk.
I could do it in the car.
All right. Well, you've gotten two very, very good recommendations. I would have recommended them to people and got nothing but positive feedback. So highly, highly, highly recommend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 30 more seconds, 30 more seconds. Make sure you catch up with your accountability partner. Did you do what you said you was gonna do? More. Who is your partner this week? Danielle. How'd she do? She called you. Love it. She's on the Zooms. What's up, Danielle? Kids are home from school. Teacher conferences, yes. Teacher work day, not conferences. Friday is a work day. Today's conferences. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great for kids. Yeah, I mean, rough for teachers. Yeah. TK, shout out to TK going through it right now.
Danielle, Byron, she still showed up on the online, even with all that going on. Shout out.
You giving her a shout out? Now he speaks. Oh, yeah. See, you were nowhere to be found when we were talking about Allie's buffalo chicken dip that you were going to bring us, but you know, now you want to speak up. Got it.
I might have a couple spots available at the Super Bowl party at my house if you were interested in trying some of that dip.
Yeah, I need it with a bowl, and you can keep the chips. Just give me a spoon. Honestly, I'm good to go. That stuff is so doggone good. It is number one. Yeah, it's top two, not two for sure. Yep, absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, find your way back to your seat. Let's chat for just a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been working on part one of the listing appointment script, right? Listing presentation script. Anybody have questions around this? We got a chance to role play it a little bit yesterday. You got a chance to hear some responses. What are people going to say when you ask some of these questions, when you present some information? Anybody have questions, comments, concerns so far about part one? Good. All right. We're going to get a more chance to practice this a little bit next week. Today, what I want to do for you is I want to introduce part two. Okay. Part two is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you really start pouring on the value, where you really start demonstrating your ability to be an expert. All right. Part two, you nail this one. And again, this is what separates you from every other real estate agent. This is what makes you 10 times better than Zillow. This is what helps you correctly price property every single time without fail and keeps you out of trouble with your clients. This is the part that keeps you from getting fired 2 months into your listing, 2 weeks into your listing, or the first time you call and tell them we need to change the price. Okay. This is where all the magic happens. You've got to nail part two. So I really want to encourage you. We're going to go over it today as a group. And I want to encourage you over the weekend, give you this homework to spend some time practicing it, working on it. Okay. Getting really, really good at these conversations, because there's a couple of conversations in here that aren't all the way laid out in the script. You got to get very good at delivering them anyway. All right. So I'm going to walk through this with you. We're going to go to part two. This is the CMA pricing presentation. Okay. This is where we're starting to deliver some information and helping clients come to conclusions on their own. We're just going to walk through this as a group. All right. Starting with number 9. I'm going to read these to you and I'm going to explain them to you. You guys take notes as I'm talking through this. All right. So number 9, you're teaching the seller how to price property. We promised them that we would do that. So number 9 starts off. As we begin to look at today's market, did you know that a home must sell 3 times in order for the house to actually change hands and for you to get paid? Okay. Because obviously this is the seller. They are the ones getting paid once all this is done. Okay. And quickly, you're going to explain the 3 times that a home has to sell. The 3 times that a home has to sell are right there on your page. The first time is the one you're probably familiar with. This is when they give you an offer. You guys agree to price, terms, closing dates, all those kinds of things. And once everybody agrees, that's the first time the home sells. The second time the home has to sell is during the inspection process. The buyers get an opportunity to come and check out the home, make sure everything is up to their standards. They might ask you to fix some things. Here's your foreshadowing again, happens right here. Listen to how big of a foreshadow this explanation is. Okay. An inspector is going to come go through the house with a fine-tooth comb. The buyers may ask you to fix some things. Generally, we see up to $1,500 worth of repairs happening when an inspection, or requested when an inspection happens. Okay. Anything less than that, you'll be set up for success. Listen to that foreshadow. So now when the buyers come back and they ask for $200 worth of stuff, your clients were expecting $1,500 worth of fixes. Are this $200 a big deal? No. But if your client's expecting, I'm selling my house as is, and the buyers come back and ask you to fix a doorknob, your clients fly off the handle and they are now livid about the fact that you weren't able to get them an as-is sale. Okay. You get ahead of these things by preparing them with a great foreshadow. Okay. Again, the second time your home has to sell, the buyer's going to come in for an inspection. They can request repairs. Generally, we see them request up to about $1,500 worth of repairs. Anything less than that, you're probably in a good place. But once you guys agree to do all of that or none of that, once everybody agrees, that's the second time the house is sold. Boom, that's 2 down. The last time the house has to sell is during the appraisal process. The bank is going to send an appraiser out to your house to determine the value of what your house is worth. And as long as it's in alignment with what you've agreed to sell the house for, that's the 3rd time the home sells. Boom, you're done. Now we're ready to close. Okay. Does that make sense? You have now articulated the entire process. You made it sound very simple. And now they understand all 3 negotiations that they will have to go through in this process. Okay. Your ability to foreshadow this avoids all the surprises. Now your sellers know what to expect. And when they get this inspection request, it won't be the first time they've heard about it and they won't feel the need to fly off the handle. Okay. Monumental foreshadow opportunity right there out of the gate, number 9. All right. Number 10. My goal is to show you how to price a property like a realtor or appraiser would. Now, first, tell me, what have you heard about the market right now? Okay. You're going to allow them to tell you what they think is happening in the market. And it doesn't matter what they think, what they've heard, what they've seen on Facebook, what's on the news, what's on the podcast that they listen to. Whatever they say is totally fine. Your short update for the market. Okay. Short update. It's really, really simple. And this is the foolproof way to have this conversation. Whether the market is up, whether the market is down, no matter what happens, the one thing that we know for a fact is that homes are still selling. As long as you've got the right strategy, homes are absolutely selling in this market. And I really want to challenge you to prove me wrong on this. You go in your MLS and you find any one day in your MLS where closings did not happen. Go find one. If you can do that, I will retire today. Today. Good luck. Okay. Homes are still selling. That is your short update to them, regardless of whether they think it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's coming down, whether it's in a wonderful place of sunshine and rainbows. Homes are still selling. As long as you've got the right strategy, we're going to help you come up with that right now. Okay. Number 11. Okay. You're going to produce for them a CMA or comparative market analysis. Okay. Show of hands. Does anybody not know how to do this? Does anybody not know how to? You can have, this is a great time. This is a safe place. Good. All right. Ben's the only one who doesn't know. Okay. If you need a refresher on this, we have training available on this. It's in the foundation training. Week 2, I believe it is. Week 2, we have a whole process on how do you do comps? What form are you going to print off and bring to the sellers? Okay. You're going to use that form very specifically. If you need that, it is available to you. Okay. So this is a CMA or comparative market analysis. Are you familiar with these? Yes, no, doesn't matter. You're, again, just showing respect for what they know, what they've seen, because they have never heard anybody articulate these CMAs in the way that you're about to. All right. So number 12, these show us information about home sales for homes that are very similar to yours and that are nearby. Okay. And obviously you can explain the way in which we look for homes. We're looking for homes that are like yours, that are in the same subdivision, of the same size, the same style. This one's a ranch. These are all ranches. Similar amounts of bedrooms and bathrooms. And if they're not in the same subdivision, they might be in a 1-mile radius. Whatever criteria you used, you'll explain that to the sellers to let them know that these houses are very, very similar to yours. Okay. These ones that actually sold already are very similar to yours. Okay. Number 13. When I pull this out, everyone's eyes go to this column. Okay. And you've got to print one of these out. We'll have these for you next week when you come in, so you get a chance to practice with an actual CMA. Everybody's eyes go to this column, and you're going to do this circling right here on the sales price of your column. Okay. Circle sales prices with your finger. It says it right there on the script. But I'm going to start with you focusing on this number. Do you know what that number is? And on your script, it says very clearly, you're going to begin circling the days on market column. Because everybody's looking for the price. How much am I going to make from selling this home? And the first thing we're going to talk about is the days on market. Let me show you why. Moving right down here to number 14. This column explains the average number of days a house sits on the market before accepting an offer from a buyer. The reason we are starting with this number is because your entire experience selling this home will be based on how we land in relation to this number. You'll see eyes start to perk up. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willis? Okay, still in number 14. Having the right days on market strategy will dictate whether we'll be in control of the process or if the buyer will be in control of the process. Can I explain why? I want you to underline those last 4 words. Can I explain why? Okay, this is one of the skills that we're teaching you when it comes to listing property. This is a skill we call asking permission. Because what happens is when you ask people permission to give them a very pertinent information that will help them, naturally their curiosity is piqued and they immediately say, yeah, can you tell me, please? I want to know more. You've drawn them into the conversation. You've invited them to pay more attention to what you're about to tell them because this is monumentally important information. Okay. This is where you're going to go into the days on market presentation. You see that bolded right here in number 14. Days on market presentation is where you are going to put your sellers in a position to understand firsthand why days on market is important. Okay. So days on market presentation goes just like this. Let's pretend you are a potential buyer for this home. Let's pretend you come to see this home and it's the, let's start with the, today we're going to start with the, it just hit the market. Okay. Days on market, you're going to start with the just hit the market. Let's pretend you're a buyer and you show up to see this home. It's been on the market for 1 day. You walk through, you love it. You turn to me as your agent. You say, Byron, I love this home. What am I going to have to do to get this home? What kind of offer do you think I'm going to tell you to make if this is the first day on the market and there's 5 or 10 people walking in and out of this house at the same time? What kind of offer do you think I'm going to tell you you're going to have to make? Junior, go ahead and answer that for us. What kind of offer do you think I'm going to have to ask you to make? Yeah, we're probably going to have to do a strong over asking offer price. Absolutely. Junior, let me ask you, why do you think we're going to have to do a strong over asking kind of offer?
Because there's lots of interest. And we're gonna want to snatch it up right away, and all the competition we have that time.
Exactly right. And quite frankly, buyers think the same way that you're thinking right now. Okay. Understand, very important that you ask them why. Let them explain to you why the first day on the market is such an important day. And say, okay, let me ask you a different situation. Same situation, same house. You walk in and you love it. And now nobody's here. And this house has been on the market for 65 days. You turn to me and tell me you love this house. And you ask me what kind of offer we're going to have to make. What kind of advice do you think I'd give you if this house has been on the market for 65 days? What kind of offer do you think we're going to make? Yeah, we're probably going to make a below asking price offer. And why do you think that?
Why?
Yeah, why would we make a below asking price offer?
Always scared other people away. There's other people that looked at it quite a bit and pass it over.
Clearly, nobody wants this house. I agree with you. And now we're going to make a below asking price offer. So let me ask you, would you rather be earlier in the process or later in the process, days on market, as the seller trying to get the best offer for your home? Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah, you want the lowest days on market possible. Does all that make sense to you? Of course it does. So right here, you get to see their days on market. You're explaining to them days on market. If you go a long time, you go over the price. What happens to your offer price? Comes way down. If you're new on the market, what happens to your offer price? It gets much, much stronger. Okay. So with that, the time goal we have is the number of average days on market that's on your sheet. If we go over that number, we start to lose leverage and run the risk of losing buyers who will compete for your home and give you those strong offers. Does that make sense? Yes, number 15. Okay, number 16. Perfect. Let's create a proper price range that we can expect your home to sell in and be able to appraise it. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot in just that, and we haven't even talked about the price of the home yet. This days on market presentation, monumentally important that you get them on board with the idea that we need to sell this home before we go over the average days on market. Because what this does for you is it sets you up to price the home correctly from day one. This also helps you decide if we're going to do price reductions in the future, how quickly are we going to do price reductions? Any guesses? Yeah, probably before we hit this average days on market and you start to lose leverage with all the buyers who would pay you the most for this home. Okay, this now scripts when we're doing price reductions and explains the urgency of getting the price right from day one. All right, monumentally important that you do that. Okay. Then we get into what we call the photo game presentation. This is how you perfectly price property every time. You get your sellers to come to this conclusion on their own and they decide the prices. And they always get it right when you do it this way. I promise you, they get it right 100% of the time. And sometimes after they get it right, they decide I still want to be outside of the range, and that's totally fine. They can decide that after, but they always get this range right during this part. Okay. So photo game presentation. Here's how it works. This is what you're saying to your seller. Here's how it works. We'll go through a few recently sold comparables, and based on the photos, you tell me objectively whether we should be priced higher or lower based on the features and benefits that you see. Are you ready? And what you're going to do using the comparables that you've brought, using the addresses you brought, you can pull this up on your phone. You can pull this up on the computer. You can print these photos out and bring them. Any of these options are totally okay. But all you're going to do is you're going to show them photos of the house without showing them the price. You're going to say, based on these photos, do you think your house would sell for higher or lower than this one? And they're going to look at the photos and say, oh, it's a nice kitchen. We don't have that. Oh, it's a nice backyard. You know what? I think ours is going to be a little bit lower than that one. Okay, perfect. Lower, no problem. Then you're going to show them another house, and then you're going to show them, based on these photos, do you think your house will sell higher or lower than that one? Well, our kitchen's nicer than that. Our backyard's nicer than that. You know, they don't even have a finished basement. I think we'll sell for higher than that one. Perfect. They're going to say higher or lower. And now, after they say higher and lower, now you're going to show them the price. This one actually sold for this price. This one actually sold for this price. And guess what you have now? A perfect little range in which you can expect this house to actually sell in. And you didn't come up with any of these numbers. Who came up with these numbers? Your client and the market. That's it. You have given no opinions about your price of this home. They've come to this conclusion completely on their own. And now they will have buy-in when it comes time to get a price. All right. So number 17. And number 17, we are asserting the fact that this is not your opinion. This is what the market is telling them. Okay. So number 17 says, awesome. Now the market, please underline the market, because the biggest key to pricing homes properly as an agent is you are not giving your opinion. Sellers are coming to these conclusions on their own based on information of the market. Because what happens if you give this price, you promise them this house is going to sell for $400,000, and then you come for a price reduction? Whose fault is it? It's your fault. Who's happy about that being your fault? Nobody. Not your sellers, not you, not all the future referrals that you just cost yourself by being dead flat wrong. Okay. Awesome. Number 17. Awesome. Now the market is suggesting that your home should hit the market at a price between, and you insert your range here. I put a range here for you, $275,000 and $290,000. The market is suggesting this. So let me ask you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what are your thoughts about that? And they'll tell you, because now these are their words and the market's telling them this, and they came to this conclusion on their own. They will tell you their thoughts. I'd really still like to be a little bit above that. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. I totally get it. We should probably land in there. I'm ready to do that. No problem. Or they might tell you, if I have to sell it in that range, I can't sell my house. And now we know for sure it might be time for us to put this on hold until a later date when you can build up some more equity, when you've got some more money, or when the market brings these prices up. Okay. This is where you can give that very clear advice and where you stay true to your promise earlier, which says, I'm going to shoot you straight and tell you the truth, even if it means we decide we're not going to sell this house today. All right. This is where you find all that out right here. Okay. And again, this is the place where we're narrowing down a range. We don't have to pick a price yet. I want to reiterate that. And please write this note next to number 17. We are not picking a price. It's in parentheses, so if you need to just underline it, or if you need to write it to remind yourself, write it. But this is not time to pick a price. You are giving a range here. Okay, why? Because it is not time for commitment until we can all agree to the commitment. Until there is a paper for us to actually sign, it is not time for us to tie any of this stuff down. We just need a range, and that's totally fine. We're good. There's no reason for you to try to narrow this down right now, and you get stuck in this argument about what the final price is going to be, and you lose your opportunity to list this house. Now's not the time. We wait until it's time to sign that contract to do that. All right. So number 17, we have a range. We get their thoughts on it. Okay, perfect. No problem. At the end of the day, this is going to be your decision. So no problem. All right. Number 18, whatever they say, whether I'm with that, that sounds good, or absolutely not. That totally makes sense. And here's something that I'll go through up front to make sure that we're always on the same page, and I protect your experience selling this home. When we put a home on the market, only one of three things will happen. Okay, please write the word foreshadow next to 18. I promise you, foreshadowing is going to be all over this. This is how you set yourself up to get price reductions in the future. This is how you set them up to know exactly what to expect. And they are ready for this conversation before you're ready for this conversation. Oftentimes, you might even be getting this call before you're ready to make this call. All right. So only one of three things is going to happen when you put a home on the market. And I would love for somebody to challenge me if you can think of more than one of these three things is going to happen. Okay. First, we could get showings and an offer right away, which means we did everything perfectly. That's the first thing that could happen. The second thing that could happen is we get showings, but no offers, which means we are presented well enough to get people in the door. But when they got here, they didn't see enough value to make an offer. Generally, this means that the house will sell 5% below the current listing price. And the reality is it's a range, really 3 to 5%. Okay, if you're getting showings but no offers, you are 3 to 5% higher than you're going to sell it for. Now, whether your clients want to wait 2 months to get there, or they want to wait 2 days to get there, it's totally up to them. Just know the longer those days on market, the uglier that price gets for you, right? You might be on 3% end. You might end up closer to 5 if you wait longer, higher days on market. Okay. And then third, finally, we could put the home on the market and no one shows up, no showings and no offers. And at that point, I think you'd agree that we've missed in a big way, usually between 7 and 10%. And we need to go back to the drawing board pretty quickly. Does all that make sense? Any questions? This is where you're going to invite them to ask questions. Okay. Why are we talking about this right now? Why are we talking about price reductions and what's going to happen if we put it on the market? Why are we talking about this now? We are foreshadowing, and this is the lowest stakes that this conversation will be had in. Because right now, all three of these things are hypothetical. None of these things actually exist. So they're not actually taking a 10% haircut on the money that they thought they were going to get yet. This is all hypothetical, and there's no pressure in the conversation now. But if you wait 2 months down the road and now they're nervous and they're wondering if their house is going to sell and they're stressed and they're trying to figure out if they're ever going to be able to move, and now they're pissed off at you, and then you try to have this conversation, guess who's about to get fired? You. Okay, I want to prepare you, set you up for this. This is why I say this is one of the ultimate skills that you've got to have. You nail this in part 2 and you avoid all those pitfalls. And now when these things happen, they're not mad about these things happening. They remember, you know, Joe told me that this could happen. That if we found ourselves with no showings and no offers, we've missed in a big way and we can make this change. This is what gives you permission to let your clients list it at whatever number they want. If they decide they want to be outside of the range, that's totally okay. You understand days on market, and you understand if nobody shows up and there's no offers, we're going to make a big change. It's already here. We've already talked about it. You're already ready for it when it's time for that conversation. And now there's no questions as to what we do. And then when you do a price reduction, guess what? Only 1 of 3 things is going to happen. Right? When you put it on the market, only 1 of 3 things is going to happen. You do a price reduction, only 1 of 3 things is going to happen. And we'll just adjust again based on whatever happens in that category. Okay. So now you are set up for success for your entire listing. All right. That is part 2. And I want you to take this home over the weekend, and I want you to practice this. I want you to practice some of these things, try these things on your own, work on these things a little bit, because when we come back next week, you're going to get a chance to role play these with your peers and get a chance to feel what it feels like to say this to a seller, hear what sellers are going to say back to you, And we're gonna get a chance to work on this because you're not gonna get to read from your script when you're sitting when you're sitting at a seller's dining room table. Okay? Does anybody have questions about part 2? Okay, part 2, again, there's a lot of meat and potatoes in there, but these are some huge skills that you are learning, huge opportunities. And has anybody had a seller who was upset with them? Has that ever happened to anybody in this room? Yeah, probably. If you haven't, keep working. It'll happen to you. You're gonna get one. Okay. And I promise you, one of the reasons that they were upset with you probably got covered in part 2. Right? Their house was on the market longer than they expected it to be, and that caused a whole lot of emotions that are not beneficial for you or for decision making. Okay. They decided to price their house way out of the range, even though you clearly had the comps that told them where they should be. You told them where to be, and they decided they wanted to price it, and now it's still your fault. Okay, you got to get them to come to these conclusions on their own, because you just telling people, listen, I think you should list at 260. It's a big mistake if you try 400,000 for your split entry in the starter home neighborhood. No, I'm going to do it anyway. I know the house is disheveled and the siding's falling off and the roof is caving in, but I still want 500,000 for that house. But your opinion does not supersede their opinion. They've got to come to these conclusions on their own, because then you get the buy-in, and then you avoid all the pitfalls that all of us as agents have had to deal with. And I want to help you try to avoid those, because I didn't have fun when I was getting yelled at and I thought I was getting sued. I promise you, I did not have fun on those days. So we'll tell that story someday. All right. As we wrap up today, really quick, there's one more last second. Any questions around part 2? Questions, comments, concerns? Was that a question? Or was that just a good job? Okay, thank you. Good. All right. As we wrap up today, you got a chance to talk to your accountability partner. You know specifically what you need to do the rest of this week to either catch up to your goals or to push your goals a little bit further. Okay. And I really want to encourage you, use this time very intentionally to build up opportunities, so that when you get to that Monday follow-up, all those calls that you make set up a whole week of appointments for you. Okay. One quick announcement. Masterclass next week. We're going to be working on this listing presentation. We're going to have a whole bunch of people in here. So the 15th, February 15th, right here, same bad place, same bad time, 1 o'clock, we'll be doing that masterclass. There'll be lots of agents in the room learning about this exact same stuff, and you guys will have a leg up on them if you're already working on this and getting these words down. All right. So use this time intentionally, build some opportunities for you to practice this listing presentation script and to use it on a live seller. Because I promise you, your listings will be a lot more fun when you do it this way. All right. You guys get out of here. We'll be around all afternoon. If you have questions, if you need anything, mastermind at 1 o'clock, bring more questions if you got them. All right. Thanks for being here. We'll see you.